And make sure you pour plenty of solvent on your bench.
Hey y'all, I'm James Wright. Welcome to my shop. Now, I often use boiled linseed oil for my finishes, but it's not a very protective finish, so when I want a protective finish, one of my go-tos is poly. A wipe-on poly. It's a very simple, just about anyone can do it, and it's not going to be one of those things that you really have to worry about, like a straight-up poly that you're probably going to want to spray because it's so thick and it can build up very, very quickly. A wipe-on poly is a very forgiving finish that you can put on several light coats and get a really nice look on it. The problem is, buying it from the store and wipe-on poly, it's expensive. This particular can cost almost as much as an entire half gallon. This is a pint. Cost as much as a half gallon is going to make today. So if you're just getting a little bit, go to the store and get this and not have to worry about mixing your own and having it on hand. But I do like to occasionally mix it, especially when I'm going to be getting a large batch, like I'm going to be doing my kitchen cabinets, and I'm going to need an entire half gallon of it. So then I'm going to go to the store rather than spending like 60 bucks on a half gallon. I often use the Minwax, but I have used General Finishes. They're both great products, and I like both as well. But for making it, it's a little cheaper. So what you're going to want is straight up polyurethane, and then you're going to want mineral spirits. I like the low odor stuff. It's just a little bit easier on your senses, and it's what I prefer. You're going to want to make sure that it is oil-based poly and not a water-based poly. And you can tell that because the water-based poly is very milky, whereas the straight poly is more of an amber tone. The water-based dries perfectly clear, and the straight poly will actually have a bit of an amber tone to it when it cures. So you want to make sure you're using the oil-based, not the water-based. This doesn't mix well with the mineral spirits, and this doesn't mix well with water, so that's why we're using mineral spirits. Now, it's a really easy mixture to make. It's 50-50, so half poly, half mineral spirits. And you don't have to be dead on exact. If you get a little bit one way or the other, it's going to be a little bit thicker if you use less mineral spirits. If you use more mineral spirits, it's going to be a little thinner. Some people like putting on some really, really thin coats, and you might go 2 parts mineral spirits, 1 part poly, and you'll get a really thin mix that will dry very quickly. And so you can put on a bunch of coats, but you have to put on a whole bunch of them fairly quickly. So all you have to do is mix it together. So I have this graduated jar that I can use, and I can open up one and put it in there, and this has markings for 1 cup, half cup, 2 cups, and so I'm going to come up to the 1 cup mark, or close there too. I'll fill that up to the 1 cup mark. And then with the poly, when it's straight poly, you want to stir it. You don't want to shake the poly, because it takes forever for those bubbles to work their way out of the poly. When it's in a mixed and light form, shaking it is not a problem, and the bubbles will work out of that much faster. So I'm just going to do that, and then very carefully again fill this up to the 2 mark. There. I have 2 cups in there, put a lid on it, and then shake it up. Then you're going to want to give it a good shake, mix it all up, let it sit for a half hour or so until all the bubbles work their way out, and you have your own batch of wipe-on poly. So go out there, experiment with your own, see what mixtures you like. Do you want it to be a little thicker? Do you want it to be a little lighter? And then also make sure you label the can. Wipe-on poly, mixture 50-50, or whatever you have. So next time you're at the store and you're like, ooh, that expensive, you can make it yourself, and it's really not that expensive at all. I'm going to be making an entire half gallon for the same price as this little pint. So 8 times the value, or 1/8 the price, your choice. It's a fairly simple, quick project, and you can have yourself some fun. So go out to the shop and make yourself some poly. Have some fun with it. Hope you like this video. I do want to say thank you to the patrons on Patreon. If you want to find out more about that, you can do so right down here. Also, if you'd like to subscribe and see some behind the scenes footage, you can do that as well. And until next time, have a wonderful day.